That was a veteran move right there, buddy. That was awesome. You're doing a great job. Fantastic job, buddy. That was a very, very impressive performance today. Great job, everybody. Great job. Very proud of you, buddy. You had to work your butt off for that one, man. Slide back in your seat there, man. Give those belts a good tug. Double check your steering wheel. Get a good look at your switches. Get ready to go here, buddy. Pit crew, we get a thumbs up from everybody? Okay, whatever. Our backup channel. Make sure everybody's on it. Can you hear me? So you're going to be in the middle of a dogfight here. What do we need to try to do, do you think? Need to be a little tighter or a little looser?
so many racers compacted into such small spaces, especially the fact that you get these cautions and you're coming right off an immediate restart and everybody's grouped back up together. It's so hard to keep these things clean the way these trucks want to act at this surface.
Well, we were saying, you know, you don't want to overheat these tires, but at the same time, you do want to get some heat into these tires, so you will get some stick 'em. These guys are on these restarts. They're starting on cold tires, and that is making this just a really, really slick restart. I was watching Tim Johnstone there as he came out of turn 4 there and just went straight up into the wall, and that's what started this entire thing here. Is he got into the wall and just got slowed down and got nailed from behind. Just had nowhere to go, nothing he could do about it. He was off the throttle. He just slid straight up to the wall.
And again, now we slowed them back down. And moment to talk some track facts about the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, located in North Las Vegas, Nevada. Capacity crowd of 131,000 race fans can pack in here on any given weekend, and just about a half-hour drive from where I am right now. Owned and operated by the Speedway Motorsports Incorporated Group, and actually two-time defending Track of the Year with the SMI gang for 2012, 2013. The opened back in 1996. Banking was changed from 12 degrees to 20 back in 2006, and now sits at a little bit of variable banking between 18 and 20 degrees under this caution flag. And I want to take a quick moment also running down to the top 10 from last week at Atlanta. Don Stevenson took home that win. Dustin Lee was second. Borges in third. George Bark fourth. Sedlak fifth. Dominic Dyball in sixth. Dylan Ackert seventh. Eighth. Nicholas Doucette. Ninth to Michael Church. And Scott Bailey would finish top 10 in that one. And Carl, we're going to try to get a word with our in-race reporter, the number 26 of Marcus Babb, and we'll try to pull him up on our radio here in just a moment, see if we can get a word with him. He has agreed to be our in-race reporter. Again, going to try to have a different in-race reporter every week to get an opportunity to get some different views. And we have Marcus Babb, and Carl, you have him on the radio.
User in your channel is recording.
Brought him up, go.
Marcus Babb, this is Carl up in the booth. You got the copy?
10-4.
How's it going today, Marcus?
Well, a little trouble there, but all in all, it's not bad. The truck feels good, and we're just biding our time here a little bit. Got a lot of laps to run yet.
Now, out here watching you guys, the track looks like it's really, really slick. You guys having a hard time keeping these tires underneath you, or are you're burning them off quick? What's causing these trucks to slide up into the wall like that so much?
Not so much us. I mean, our truck feels pretty good. It does start to get tight about 15 laps in, but I think a big thing here is just overdriving the corners, trying to get everything you can with low tire pressures, cold tires, and you just got to give it a little more room than what we see out here tonight.
So you're going just the opposite way of everybody else. You're going tight instead of loose. Everybody we've been watching out here is going real loose. I believe that Paul Coleman has something he'd like to add.
Yeah, Marcus, this is Paul Coleman. One quick question for you. This is the first race here of the new build here, as iRacing just released a new build. Going into this week, what major changes? I had an awesome setup for Las Vegas prior to this new build coming out, and now that setup is absolutely junk. I can't keep it on the track. So what big major changes that you can give us that you made to this setup going into this week?
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately I am borrowing this setup from the guys over at JMP. They helped me out with it, as my own team, Bad Intentions, lost a driver this week, and coincidentally he was our setup guy. So JMP is helping us out over there. John Pansula was kind enough to let us get something, and it's working out for the most part. Just got to keep the truck clean, stay out of trouble.
Well, that is definitely pretty awesome, and definitely great to see this community come together and help out, and also shows the, I guess, the neatness of having that team unity there.
Well, Marcus, we're doubled up, getting ready to go back here to green. We're going to let you go back down here, get ready to get back onto the race, and hopefully we'll talk to you back here later on in the show.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I do believe we have our audio back. I do believe we are good to go in that regard. So back to business as usual. Coming up to a restart, it is going to be the 02 of Mitchell Reeves, the 19 of Garrett Atwell. On I want to thank you for hanging in through our issues there, and we get set again to go back green flag racing. Pace car down to pit road, lap 33, going to be at the stripe, and the 02 again still sitting with his teammate, the 25 of Jeffrey Smith on his back bumper. Green flag flies to the inside lane, a much better restart than the previous. Garrett Atwell caught sleeping on the outside lane. Fast lane racing, going to have it single file up front. 19 going to drop down to the bottom, going to be side by side for no third. 35 all the way to the bottom, trying to make an aggressive move. Down on the bottom of the Monster Energy truck is real loose. Sedlak trying to hang on to it. He'll lose a lot of time.
That was really close there by Sedlak coming off of turn number 2 there. He got really loose, almost took it all the way around, but was able to get it back under control. Coming down the backstretch here, these guys are going to take it 3 wide to get around that slower truck.
You see the penalty there for getting loose. Sedlak was looking for third. He's all the way back to the lead now, so that's why you got to be aggressive, but at the same time, you can't be over-aggressive. You're going to find yourself back to back.
So there's a balance, a tightrope that you have to walk in the aggressiveness regards, and it's going to bite a couple guys. And I talked about the 19 of Garrett Atwell, who did not by any means have the start that he wanted, and he's now trying to make up more ground. He's gone to the inside of that number 25 Chevrolet. That is the Exalta Fast Lane Racing entry of Jeffrey Smith. This is going to be for second spot. 19 has a nose at the door of that number 25 machine. It's the battle single file behind them for the foreseen future inside the top 5, inside the top 10, still side by side, deep back in the pack, but all eyes pretty much on this battle for second. 19 going to slide him off the quarter. He will take that spot. 5 going to go low. Does he think about throwing it to the inside and ride that left rear quarter panel? 20 there as well. A little bit of a stack up, a lot of bumper banging down through 3 and 4. But Atwell does get the spot. Smith will drop back to third. And again, bumper to bumper with that 25, 20, and the 51 across the start-finish line. All those guys going at it for top 5 spots.
Yeah, as we were watching Garrett Atwell there in the Atomic Church truck there, on the inside like that, he wanted to get that pass done while he still had some new in those tires, because once you get that new rubbed out of the tires, that inside line is no longer a very fast lane to take. The outside line would be the preferred line. Right now it looks like David Wenk is going to make a liar out of me here, as he's going to take it down low, and he's going to see if he can make that pass work. Also on the 25 truck there, Jeffrey Smith's going to fall back 1 position.
Car of David Wayne on the inside is going to get clear at the 25. 25 now tries to fight back. 20 car is going to slide up. Not enough room. 25 racks into the wall. Dominic Dieball is going to turn around. We got big trouble.
Caution's out. Caution's out.
Caution flag will fly. None of these trucks are going to slide back up in the trap.
Earl, you sure you got your release mark correct coming into pit road?
The 8 of
Yes, I do, sir.
An innocent victim in that one, and the 15 Dieball came down through that back straightaway. And again, I said the 20 car was going to slide up. He thought he may have been clear on that 25 machine of Jeffrey Smith, and he caught himself at the last second. So Wank did not cut Smith off, but Jeffrey just put it in the wall, reacting to that. Dieball had nowhere to go, caught the left rear corner panel, spun him all around. And that's what brings out this most recent caution. How about the view from Nathan Sedlak on that one? This all happening directly in front of the 35. He at first went low, then everybody started reckoning low. He went high, and somehow he's able to keep that Monster Energy Chevrolet out of that mess as we once again get to group him back up behind the iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car.
Yeah, something tells me that I should take off the rest of the season, because last week I was off. I had other obligations I had to take care of. You guys went with 1 caution. I come back, and we are now, this is about our 4th caution now. So
ooh, a fake
out there by Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves is going to see how many takers you can get there. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 cars up here in the front did go down the pit road, plus the rest of the back of the field. Looks like they're all going to stop in here, get some fresh rubber and fuel in their trucks.
That might be the right
interesting
decision.
little split, yeah, Paul, because I mean, it looked like the first place truck had instantly made it look like he was going to be coming down pit road. We had a couple guys around P3 maybe thinking about it, and then at the last second, our leader ducked out of line, and everybody else followed suit on that.
Yeah, if it's me though, knowing the premium on tires versus track position, especially with these last couple of wrecks heading up front with these guys hungry for the lead, I take the 4 fresh tires, hang out at the back a little bit, know that I'll be able to work my way back up to the front here.
The only thing you got to watch out for, though, is as we've seen, you get into the back of the field, and that's where a lot of the problems are starting. It seems like around position 10 on back is where we're having a lot of our issues. You get back here in the back of the pack like this, and it could cause you to have those same issues.
It is all about what strategy, what approach to this race you think is going to be the one that will work best for you. And if you ask every driver is going to have a different opinion on that.
Hey, do we want to still do 51?
You will see teams that will be, on a little bit of a different strategy call in that regards. But I mean, overall, you want to be up front leading laps. And it's something that you discuss maybe more at plate tracks, guys, is the fact, do you want to ride up front? Do you want to hang back? I think hanging back might be too dangerous at a track like this because, Carl, if these guys get spread out and Paul as well, if everybody gets a lot of space in between each other, then if you're hanging back, you're not going to have enough time to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not want to lose touch with the guy that's in front of you there, like you said, because then you're going to be just working your tires all that much harder trying to catch back up that couple of tenths of a second even. You get behind somebody. Yeah, you want to stay right in the back bumper if possible, but I don't know, man. This is really scary. This is a very hairy track tonight.
That's the thing. My strategy, you kind of almost forced to bank into having at least 1 or 2 cautions for that strategy to take place. But the way these guys are driving, as loose as these cars are, I definitely, not that I want to see them, but if I was a betting man, and this is Las Vegas, so bets do count here. If I was a betting man, I would definitely bet on at least 1 or 2 more cautions before this night is through. Evan?
And working under the caution flag, and if anybody is still hearing a little bit of transmission between everybody here, but I'm gonna take a quick moment to talk about some of the cars or rather trucks in the field. As we roll through it again, everybody getting set should be the one to go. Next time
on lap 51, the silence.
And we're gonna, and again, lights off, race car. Still trying to get everything sorted out here again from our technical difficulties here, but we are going to go silent on lap number 51 through 53. We were going to do it on lap 15, but again, with our technical difficulties, to pay tribute to a 17-year-old race car driver, Joey LeCaire, who lost his life in Vermont, Washington, and then also 2 more additional laps of silence for the 2 Canadian Army men, armed forces members that lost their lives this past week. Warrant Officer Patrice Bissant and Corporal Nathan Cirillo. I know a lot of the drivers here in CORA are Canadian, myself included in that one. So laps 51 through 53, we will go silent on the radio to honor their lives. But right now, going double file, going to be a lap number 42 restart. The 02 of Mitchell Reeves still in control of this field. The 19 machine outside of him, Garrett Outlaw, 2 faces that we have seen up in the front of this field for the majority and what has been a short race to this point, but the majority of this race, those are 2 of the trucks that have definitely been contenders, and they're going to bring us back to the green flag as we roll through corner number 4, where we have seen the restarts that have featured the inside lane really pulling away. We've also seen other ones where we've been nose to nose throughout the pack. Got to see what this one brings. Pace car down pit road. Control car could be the 02 machine, waiting on when he will accelerate. The Garrett out will get a point right next to him. Green flag flies once again, back underway. And again, the 19, not the restart he was looking for. Going to be 2 wide. Now the 20 car to the inside lane. That's David Wayne for second.
Once again, Mitchell Reeves gets a great restart, however, and he's able to pull out about a half a second lead on these guys here as they enter into turn 4, turn 2, going down the backstretch. If they're coming out of turn 4 going down the backstretch, I think we may have a problem. But anyway, yeah, Mitchell Reeves here's got a great restart and is able to pull away here a little bit at the restart of this race.
Door to door for what's going to be the number 2 position. The 20 got the position there on that restart down into the quarter. The 19 trying to hang on top. Atwell has been able to put up quite a fight for it, using the run off the quarter to his advantage. You see that 20 Chevrolet slide up. The 19 uses the advantage of coming down the banking, coming at a quarter number 2 to be able to pull half a truck length. And then once again, advantage flips back to the inside lane as we head back down into the corner. And what the 20 machine is really hoping he can do is slide up in front of Atwell. Not going to get the job done, and we're going to go 3 wide. No, a block as the 51 and Nicholas Doucette trying to go to the inside. 20 is going to shut the door. And how about that, guys? Garrett Atwell, the outside lane, going to prevail. He's able to hang on to the number 2 spot.
Well, that outside lane is going to prevail here. Like I said, once you get get the new wear off these tires, that inside lane no longer is very helpful. It's not nearly as fast as the outside lane is going to be. The outside lane is going to get a lot more momentum coming off the turns. That's what caused that Garrett Atwell in the Atomic Church truck to be able to go out and get a nice little bit of a buffer between him and David Wink here in the number 20 truck.
Speaking of new tires, I've been tracking progress of the 16 of Big Guy, who was actually the first truck off of pit road on the pit stop. He restarted the race in 18th, and in just the first couple laps, he just moved himself all the way up to 12th. He is 2.5 seconds behind the leader, but moving on up.
Oh, the new tires are definitely going to be a big advantage over these guys who decided they weren't going to pit. You're going to be seeing these guys pulling up through here as we got a battle for the lead now. Garrett Atwell is pulling up next to Mitchell Reeves for the first time now. Going to look to the inside, see if he can make this pass for the lead, and it looks like he's going to make that stick as he dives it down deep into turn number 2. Out on the back stretch, he's going to pull up in front of Mitchell Reeves and take that lead. Mitchell Reeves is going to take a look right back down to the inside to the O2 truck there. He's going to see if he can do that same kind of a slide job. He's not going to be able to make it work as Garrett's able to get a lot more momentum coming off of turn number 4.
The 88, by the way, of Michael Tiersma just hit the wall, battling 3 wide, and it's now dropping like a rock.
So now the 19 has gotten that advantage up front, and the 20 car going to get the better hand of the O2 of Mitchell Reeves as well. So Reeves is going the wrong direction, trying to get up in line behind in front of the 51 of Nicholas Doucette, unable to do that as well. And it is the outside lane that is putting the freight train on that O2 fast lane racing entry, and he'll be able to get up in front of the 51. No, leaves the door open for too long, and Nicholas Doucette once again to the outside, but almost funny to see the 19 of Garrett Atwell up in front because, guys, just yesterday, and almost, Paul, similar to your story with the new build here and trying to get everybody's setups working, he was asking me for his setup. So he's obviously got this up figured out. The 19 machine doing strong up front. The Woo Motorsports entry is back to the top spot after qualifying in second. Was first fastest in practice as well, guys. So Garrett Atwell shouldn't be surprising to see this kind of speed out of him. He is 13th in the championship standing. So I know we're only 2 races young into this season, but that would be the first point out, the first position that would not advance in the top 12 chase. So the 19 machine definitely looking to get some more points here tonight and possibly that first trip to victory lane on the season.
We got a bit of a hornet's nest back here around positions number 22 through about 26, as these guys have really been mixing it up back here. We got Marcus Babb. He is on the outside. He is looking to see if he can make a run here right now on Chad Wilson. Chad Wilson's been running the low line and has now pulled out ahead of Marcus, and Marcus is now having a hard time trying to get back to the outside. He wanted to try to get around Chad here about a lap ago.
The 19 works it down the back straightaway here, and again, last laps 51 through 53 approach. We will go silent to honor the lives lost of 17-year-old race car driver Joey LeCaire and Canadian Armed Forces member, Warrant Officer Patrice Vincent, and Corporal Nathan Cirillo. 1 lap in honor of each lives lost as we cross the start-finish line. Caution flag currently out at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Trouble down the back straight A. The 29 machine, Dylan Ackert, got turned down the back, and looks like the 15 machine of Dominique Dyball once again involved in that one. The 40 machine of Dustin Loyne's going to pick up some damage as well, and caution flag evidently out. Leaders are down pit road, guys. What's going on in that regards?
It looks like everybody's come in here. Garrett Atwell, just watching him. He went in and came out in the same position. He had taken 4 tires and fuel, along with David Wink and Steven Johnson here on my end.
Yeah, pretty much everybody else down at this end also 4 tires and fuel. Looks like I think Dominic Dyball was involved in the accident there. However, he did not come to the pit, so I don't know if he's just planning on staying out to lead the lap or he did not receive that much damage.
It wouldn't be uncommonplace to see a couple of drivers, and again, bonus points so very important when we look at the CORA schedule here. That again, there is going to be a 12 driver chase. That after 19 weeks, there is a cutoff. The top 12 of the championship standings need to go forward. So I know it's only race number 3, and when we were at our first race, it's hard to think points when you're out there at Daytona. It's hard to think points, but when it comes down to it, every single point, again, could play into effect on if you're able to battle for that championship or if you're on the outside looking in and it's too late. So that's still quite a ways away to this extent here in the season, guys. But it is, talk to and give me an idea as a driver. You want to roll into these races and you're going to think to yourself, all right, 19 races, I can go and hunt for some trophies here, some top spots, try to walk away with some money in your pocket, again, payouts throughout the top 18 or so positions, I do believe. But all of this does matter, and given that it is going to be the end of March 2015 when that cutoff is, but these guys have to remember, to an extent, everything they do now will affect them at some point in some way down towards that cutoff of the chase.
Oh, absolutely. Here, one of the things that I was just sitting here thinking about as you were saying that is the mulligans. I said this here back at the beginning of the season. You're only going to be able to take one mulligan. You may get away with wrecking out of one race or missing a race, but that's it. This pack, or this group of guys here, are racing so tight week in and week out. You don't want to be finishing in the back of the pack or not even starting a race because you missed a qualifier. And taking a look here at the front of the Dominic Dyball truck as he went past my vantage point, the front of that truck is very, very, very badly beaten. Looks like he's going to have to get down here and get some kind of repairs because he is not going to be able to put that thing out in the front here. The nose of that truck, he will not be able to take air. I can guarantee it. The whole front of that truck is just all closed up. He's going to overheat.
But yet he actually stays out and stays out again. I actually also would have thought that it's a good point. His spotter might actually be sleeping there. But I was a surprise that Dominic didn't go into. But as you were talking about, Carl, the mulligan, with the CORA series and the fact that they run so many different types of cars at so many different tracks, you really don't want to use a mulligan necessarily at a track like this at Las Vegas. With Indy cars going to road courses and other difficult things that may be challenging, this is not the time this early in the season to want to give up that mulligan.
Oh, absolutely not. But if you're going to have one, you better hope that your road courses are strong. Like you said, we're going to be taking the Indy cars into the road course of Watkins Glen there, and if you've already had your mulligan at the beginning of the season, once you get into that race there at Watkins Glen, you're going to be wanting to finish as strong as you can. So, I guess the only thing I can tell you there is you better get in and do a lot of practice between now and then.
Yeah, I took on board with the number 15, and from behind the wheel, the nose of that machine looks fine. Obviously, from our view, it's pretty torn up, so we're going to have to see what, if anything, that number 15 machine is able to do, because he is the control car. How about Brandon Cruz Monsevega going to be the outside of that front row as we come back to the green flag pace car? Down to the safety of pit lane. Again, 15 has the option for the pace car, hits pit road. The sim throwing the green flag in that control box. Now he is set. Green flag flies underway. Start is good for the number 15. Going to be side by side for second. Garrett Atwell knocking on the door of Brandon Cruz Monsevega on the outside. Going to be nose to nose for P2 down into the corner.
I have a funny feeling that Dominic's going to find out just exactly what the air on that nose of that truck's going to not be able to do. It's not going to be able to give him the downforce he's going to need on the front of that. If you look at that front valence there, it is not even anywhere near the track. and he is just getting a whole bunch of air up underneath the front of that truck, so it's going to make that truck extremely tight. It's going to want to be pushing, as I see a lot of smoke out here in the back stretch, or out the back of the pack.
Caution flag is going to fly. Don't see the immediate cause of the incident. Believe the truck that may have been involved in that had already escaped out. But there is a lot of smoke through 3 and 4. And I see the incident coming out of turn number 4. A couple trucks getting it together. It does bring out the caution flag. And it looks like it starts with the 00 machine involved in that one. That is going to be James Brown, who is up in front of a side-by-side battle, guys. And this is going to be lap 57 in 3 and 4. That machine just got sideways, and a side-by-side battle between Jeremy Crandall and Nathan Sedlak behind that drove into that. 35 machines ends up hard on the outside wall. 00 going to get some damage as well. And the caution flag going to be flown from that incident, which again brings us back under caution flag conditions, groups us back up behind a pace car.
Well, once again, the 19 machine there, the Atomic Church truck of Garrett Atwell, finds himself back up here in the front. Dominic Dyball in his damaged machine there, sitting in position number 2. Don Stevenson is in position number 3. Brandon Cruz Monsivice sitting here in the Small Town Computers number 54 truck in the 4th position. And Mitchell Reeves, who has been up here in the front of the pack all day long, sitting here in the 5th position right now.
Yeah, and that goes to what I was saying there. That's an accident that happens mid-pack, not necessarily towards the front, but being at the back there would also give you the leeway there to miss that accident. So unfortunate for those 3 guys.
Well, in true Brad Keselowski, Garrett Atwell fashion, he continues to send me his photo texts of his onboards, giving me an update on the race in case, I didn't quite see what the number 19 truck was. He is keeping me posted. Not sure if CORA will fine him for having the car or having his cell phone in the car taking pictures, but every week he, in shades of Brad Keselowski, takes a lot of pictures during cautions. I haven't seen him take one under green yet, so I will keep everybody informed on that. But he's still in the number 19 machine. We're going to have to give him some honorary number 2, I feel, at some point in the season.
Absolutely, and the kids watching at home here, remember, these guys are professionals. Please do not try this while racing at home.
Looks like John Pansula is going to get the lucky dog. Here he's going to get his lap back. He's going to get back here to the tail end of the lead lap and see if he can make his way back up to the field. He was doing pretty good holding his own there as being a lap down, but he was still holding his own pretty good there in the middle of the pack. He finally got his lap back. Let's see if John Pansula is going to be able to do anything here towards the now getting into the mid part of this race.
And again, things still kind of, it's hard, guys, to get immediately back into a rhythm up here with the the difficulties that we had earlier on in the race there with our audio issues. So once again, do apologize for that. So it's going to be a fun one, I guess, from here on out. We have had a lot of incidents, which makes things exciting for us. I'm sure the drivers that are involved in them not quite enjoying it as much. We're going to take this moment to run down the current CORA Championship point standings. For individual points, George Bark is your current leader, sitting with 1 trip to victory lane, has not finished outside the top 5 in any start so far this season. He leads. Don Stevenson is 2nd in the championship standings. Nathan Sedlak is 3rd. Ryan Borges 4th. Mitchell Reeves 5th. Jeremy Crandall 6th. Joel Wood 7th. 8th to David Wink. Everett Lane 9th. And 10th is Brandon Monsivice. Again, that would be the top 10. The cutoff for 12th position right now, again, not really relevant because there's still 17 races if you include tonight to that point. But at the moment, first car, or rather last truck in, Martin Porter, first truck out, Garrett Atwell. That is a 12-point differential between those 2 drivers. But I think it has to be said that if you look at the championship standing, guys, there are 2 names that have not finished anywhere below 5th so far this season, George Bark and Nathan Sedlak. Well, they have both had their fair share of problems here tonight. Bark sits back in 10th position. Sedlak, I believe, even further back, as he's been involved in some multiple incidents as well. So, it's the mulligans that you talked about, Carl. You get your season started off such a great way, and there are a lot of these things out of your control can really hurt you. And again, everything, as much as you don't think about it this early in the season, and it sounds outrageous to talk about the chase cutoff with 17 races left, But every spot here, every incident, it's going to play into a factor, and you don't want to be rolling into that 19th race and you leave Atlanta, which is going to be the race number 19 on the season, thinking back, you know, what you did wrong at Las Vegas, what you did wrong at Daytona to open up the season that could have costed you your chance at chasing the Sunday Monday Championship.
Absolutely. These guys are doubled up here, getting ready to go back to green here as they come out of turn number 3. We're going to have Garrett Atwell sitting up here on point in the Atomic Church truck. On his outside is going to be Dominic Dieballs. Don Stevenson and Brandon Cruz are going to be bringing up the next row. Michael Reeves and Nicholas Doucette, the young driver in the number 51 truck, has moved his way up into the 6th position.
And pace car down pit road, another restart coming up. As you said, that number 19 machine has gotten to the front. He is in control of this field. Green flag flies back and away at a great start for the Blue Motorsports entry. Going to be side by side for a second. 47 car to the inside on the 15th. They're going to be going at it for the number 2 spot. Advantage to Don Stevenson. He'll clear Dominic Diebaugh into the corner. First battle from there on back to be for third spot. We have the O2 and Mitchell Reeves going at it. Brandon Mossonvay on the high side trying to hang on. That truck stepped all the way up the hill. They'll stay side by side. 51 is going to go to the bottom as the O2 machine gets clear and actually puts himself right back into another side-by-side battle with Dominic Diebaugh. Not going to be able to hang on to that one quite, I don't think. He still has a nose at the quarter panel and will then slide back in line. But up to 51, and Nick Doucette kind of sneaking through that one to be able to get up to P5. He does have a challenge, though, the 20 truck to the inside.
And we have another wreck here. Big trouble coming out of turn 1, in between turn 1 and 2 there. Big wreck. Didn't exactly see what happened there. Let's see if we could get back and take a look at that.
Carl starts into the outside wall, and it all starts, wow, out of nowhere. The 86 of Eric Sharp is going to cause this incident. He was tucked up behind the back bumper of George Bark and just followed Bark all the way into the outside wall, came down, collected the 16 of Jacob Nye. Nye went back up the racetrack, hit the 15, hit the 32. Borges cannot catch a break tonight. Ryan Borges in that one as well. The 95 machine in it also. And Everett Lane, one of our front runners here at CORA, Carl, he actually got nailed in the back by another truck that was unable to slow down in time to avoid him for that incident, and going to cause damage to, again, a lot of trucks here. Almost equally as many trucks get damaged just trying to get around these incidents as the guys that are involved in the initial contact, it seems.
Yeah, I was just watching our in-race reporters. He went through that there. He pretty much went through unscathed. I think he's going to be needing to do the proverbial change of the underwear there. Marcus Bass made it through that. He saw the sight of several cars as he drove through that, though, and did a great job, though, of getting on the binders, slowing that thing down, and keeping that truck out of trouble.
The 15 of Dominic Diebaugh coming over the radio, Carl, and it was something that we touched on at the top of the show, which evidently was not transmitted over the radio. But Dominic Diebaugh is not coming down pit road, because if he would do so, that would be his last reset. So he's hoping that he'll be able to save that reset for a more dire situation, as there's still a long way to go in this race, just now passing halfway. But we're hearing you guys have got Marcus Babb on the radio once again.
Yeah, Marcus, this is Paul Coleman up in the booth. You got a copy?
Whew, I sure do, man.
So we're just about halfway here. We have, what, 6 times as many cautions as we had last week. Talk about your race from the last time we talked to you.
Well, just trying to keep tires on it and conserve a little bit. I'm taking a more conservative approach, trying to hang in the back and yet not lose these guys. But that last caution about had me changing drawers.
I was just going to say, I was going to say, did you check out your fire suit there? We were right along with you, and it got pretty hairy. Talk about a little bit about that strategy. I'm at a little disagreement here with my 2 cohorts up here. I thought the strategy would be to kind of hang in the back, so kind of agree with you, but how do you see your race going forward?
Well, here for a little bit. I mean, we seem to be having a bad string of cautions here, but here for a little bit, I think we're just going to stay where we are and hopefully make the best of it at the end. And if we can keep the truck clean, a few scratches I ain't worried about, but terminal damage, you know, that's going to hurt us a lot, putting the truck on the trailer early. And you know, just kind of keep doing what we were doing. I mean, new team here and trying to make things work. just run consistent, finish races is what we're shooting for.
That definitely is the key. We're talking about how every point matters in the points battle, even though we're only 3 races in. One other thing we're talking about too up here is tire wear. Can you talk a little bit about how your tires are wearing?
Every chance we get here lately, because of the way the cautions have been falling and the yellows and things, we've been gambling, staying out. But yeah, I mean, every chance we get, the track, at least with the setup that the crew has in the truck tonight, it tends to push a lot if you run the tires off of it. So, you know, it's just, you know, saving that rubber and letting the other guys run their race and hopefully here catch them at the end. But yeah, I mean, with the track pushing as hard as it is, you find yourself having to put a lot of wheel into it. So it's just, you know, keeping your marks up and making sure you're off the gas, rolling back into it when you need to, and it tends to wear tires pretty good.
Yeah, this definitely is the if you are going to gamble, this is definitely the track to gamble at. All right, anyways, sorry about that. We've had something talking in my ear. But yeah, this is definitely the track to gamble. We look forward to checking in with you just a little bit later, and best of luck.
All right, thanks, guys. Hope it's a fun show.
For that, again, our in-race reporter, driver of the number 26 machine, Marcus Babb, as we allow him to get back down to his team radio. We are doubled up once again behind a pace car. I want to remind everybody, for more information on CORA, on information to get into the qualifiers and be out here on track in 1 week's time, if you're interested in hopping into one of these races and possibly walking away with $30 in your pocket for finishing in the top position, feel free to go to the CORA website. That is CORA-racing.com for more information on that. You can find series registration information on that, schedule, standings, the payout info, all that kind of stuff as well. So CORA-racing.com for any information on the CORA Championship Online Racing Association and the Sunday Money Series, live every week on LSR TV. So we're going to go back green flag once again, guys, and again, keep an eye on that 15 of Dominic Dieball. He says he does not want to come down pit road because it would be his last quick fix. What that is the last time he'd be able to get a fresh truck. So he thinks that he may need that later on. So he'll run out there with what he's got, and it'll be interesting to see when he decides to flip the switch, guys, and when he's deciding that it's time to get going forward. So pace car off, we get set to go back green. The 19 machine once again in the top spot. Green flag flies, we're underway. A good challenge by Don Stevenson, not going to be enough. He'll pull down in line. Next battle will be for third advantage to the 02 of Mitchell Reeves up top. Can he clear the 15 of Dominic Dieball? He's got him cleared. He will. And get it up down in line. First battle with MVP4. 20 car trying to make a battle. That's David Wink up top, battling with Dieball.
And once again, Garrett Atwell in the Atomic Church truck got a great start out here in front of Don Stevenson as they go in through turns 3 and 4. Don Stevenson's going to take a look to the outside, nothing doing. He's going to go back up or get back down in line behind Garrett Atwell. Garrett Atwell's going to get down here on the apron as they're going down the front stretch. I didn't know that they used the apron too awful much at this racetrack, but apparently a lot of these guys I've been watching here tonight seem like they like to get down on that apron coming down through that quad oval here in the front.
Again, it is the top positions that begin to single file out first, side by side back for P3. The 20 machine on the inside. It is the 02 of Mitchell Reeves on the outside. These guys still battling. Coming off fresh of this restart just laps ago. 20 car going to get the advantage of the inside, and then it will go back to the 02 on the exit of the corner. He'll slide low, maybe thinking of a crossover. Mitchell Reeves not going to be able to get the job done at a corner number 2. We're going to go on board with Mitchell Reeves down the back straightaway. You see the 51 car tucked up behind him, but most importantly, that number 20 in front of him starting to check out the Vegas Sunlight as Mitchell Reeves will have to deal with sliding back to P4. Wink going to have that spot and starting to get a battle up front, guys. Don Stevenson, the car that, or rather the truck that led us to the green flag and had started to check out early, has been cycled back through traffic a little bit. He starts to close in the gap on current race leader Garrett Atwell. 2 truck lengths and closing pretty fast down the Nellis straightaway.
Garrett Atwell's able to hold on to that lead one more time, going here into turn number 3 and 4, excuse me, as they come out onto the front stretch here. Garrett Atwell still in the lead in the Atomic Church truck. Don Stevenson falling close behind David Wink. Not too far off of his back bumper, Mitchell Reeves. He is still sitting here in the 4th position. Nicholas Doucette sitting here in the number 5 position. We've got Brandon Cruz Monsivice. He's moved his way all the way up from 21st starting position. Now he is racing here in the 6th position, doing really well. George Bart, he is starting to show us a little bit more signs of life here as he brings his truck back up here to the front. Joel Woods, he's looking great tonight after he's had a couple little incidents here. He had the truck down in pit road there, had to get the front end of that truck fixed earlier on in the race, but he has now moved his way back all the way up here to the 8th position. In the 9th position, we're going to have Martin Porter as he takes a look now to the inside of Joel Woods, trying to see if he can make that pass there, and he does. He's going to try to slide it back up here in front of him. Joel Woods has nothing of that. He's going to stay to the outside strong as he comes down the backstretch here. Going into turn number 3, almost some contact between the number 8 truck there and the number 79, but they were able to keep it off of each other and back down the front stretch.
Yeah, looking at that 8 truck there, he's been pretty aggressive moving himself up through the field there. He's about 14th or so, moving his truck up. And I've been watching the Dominic Dieball drop anchor. He was in front of the pack there, and he's dropped all the way back down to 10th.
Well, that damage on the front of the truck. The damage on the front of Dominic's truck there is just not going to be helping him out. There, he is not getting any downforce on the front of that truck at all, and he's actually having to let out of it a lot longer going through those turns because as soon as he gets back onto it, it just wants to start pushing. He needs to get in and get some repairs done on that truck if he wants to salvage anything in this race.
Absolutely, and then couple that with the fact that he's stayed out the last 3 stops, so his tires have to pretty much be bald as well.
We have a couple of drivers not too happy with each other on the radio back in the pack. Patrick Skyhill not too satisfied with, I believe, the 39 machine of Sal Accardi. Sal's back here battling with Everett Lane for 20th position, and 39 nearly loses it there. He's up into the outside wall, 3 wide getting around and going to come down. More contact, and he's still hanging on into the wall once again. Somehow, he's able to keep it pointed forward the right direction. So Accardi will now slide back. Skyhill will have to worry about the 39 causing issues for him, but he's all over the place. Something majorly wrong with that number 39, guys. Cannot get back up to speed, and he's slow and rail to back.
Something's definitely broken there in the Sal Accardi truck as he is having a really hard time trying to keep that. I'm wondering if you don't hear this very much in iRacing, but I wonder if he's got a tire going down on that thing. That's just the way it's acting. It's just wanting to slide out from underneath him. Was watching him earlier, he was doing fine, and then all of a sudden he got up there into that wall, and I don't know if it's knocked the toe out of that truck or what it's done, but it is now junk. He cannot do anything with that thing as he's going through the turns sideways. He's dirt tracking around the track.
Just an update, too, also for the Justin Lee fans, the 50 truck that's pulled behind the wall.
We do have a couple of drivers that have had to take their machines either behind the wall indefinitely or either have calmed down for some major repairs. Going to run you down through how that all sits. Again, Colton Berkey still on pit road. I believe that's via the new iRacing feature where the truck sits there, but there is no driver. Do not see Colton behind the wheel, so not sure if he's in the infield grabbing a bite to eat from the Neon Garage, but he is 55 laps down. Last place in the running order in the 34th spot is at number 81, Traxxas Chevrolet. 6 laps out is Dustin Lee, as you said, going behind the wall. Jacob Nye is still out on track, 2 laps down, and Charles Starks is 1 lap down. Other than that, guys, 30 trucks still on the lead lap. That's a pretty crazy number. Here as we've passed the halfway point and actually start to close in on 45 laps to go here at about 2 more circuits. Really starting to come down to the latter stages of this race. Still a lot of trucks out there on track. If something big were to happen, there's still a lot of people that can play spoiler here tonight.
Don Stevenson looks like he is about ready to check out here. He has almost a 1 second lead now over Garrett Atwell as they round turns number 3 and 4 going on to the backstretch here. He's actually, once he made that pass, he was able to just set sail, and it looks like he's got the truck right now to beat as he was our pole sitter. He is now our leader. Heck, he was even number 2 in practice today, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
You gotta like the stats that those top 2 guys have been pulling up, and we'll run you down through it. But it is Garrett Atwell in second. He has immediate company. David Wink not too far off him, but Carl, nothing below second. Those guys in the top 2. Don Stevenson was second fastest in practice, qualifying first, runs first. Garrett Atwell was fastest in practice, second fastest in qualifying, runs second right now. So those top 2 guys, I mean, you're fast, you're fast. And you're showing it right now in those top 2 positions. However, I did say Wink is not too far behind Atwell. It's under half a truck length now, this time by the stripe. 20 machine going to take a look to the inside as lap 82 goes in the works. And I can imagine that's going to be a swap for position number 3 as David Wink is showing a lot of speed here in the long run. Wow, look at the 19. Power right back to the outside. Garrett Atwell says not quite, and he'll take that number 2 spot back from him. Great run out of 2.
Yeah, he was running on that outside line out there. He was able to get in the throttle a lot earlier than was David Wink, and he was able to pull that truck right back up into the number 2 position there. The Atomic Jerk truck running really, really well. As you said, these guys were fast in qualifying, fast in practice, fast out here on race day. That's where it counts.
20 machine going to take another crack at it. To the inside goes David Wink once again. Get a half a nose at a quarter to number 2 at a number 19 machine of Garrett Atwell. To the inside, door to door, advantage to the 20. But again, the outside going to get the advantage. Huge run off the corner, and 19 machine going to take it right back, Paul.
Yeah, just give an update for the Lee fans. We mentioned this truck was behind the wall. They've evidently made repairs, and Dustin is now entering the track 11 laps down.
Looks like one of those iRacing equivalencies of a mechanical failure, dropped connection from the sim, and has gotten back in, gotten back loaded up, but as you said, significantly behind. He is going to be scored 11 laps down in 33rd. Had some decent speed, was about a mid-pack car, was 15th in qualifying, 17th in practice, but definitely not a 33rd place truck, and tough break to see him lose that many laps. He's actually a race leader, going to come and put him down once and again. Another lap as Don Stevenson going to make quick work of him on the bottom there, and complete that pass as the 50 machine almost slid down on him a little bit there, yields high, and will lose now 7, or rather 12 laps down that back straightaway.
Keep you updated on where the Dominic Dieball number 15 machine is. He has fallen all the way back now to about 17th or 18th position, as that truck just has completely now lost all of its handling. He is struggling right now to keep it in the top 20, and he's got 2 more drivers right now looking at his back bumper, wanting to get around him. That damage has got to get fixed on there. Dominic is just going to keep dropping like a rock, and right now the 28 truck of Michael Whitlock is looking to his inside, and the 24 truck also of Everett Newland is going to take a look. They're going to make it 3 wide trying to get around Dominic Dieball right here in the back of the pack.
One of the things we may not be thinking of here as well is because of all the cautions, but this has been an incredibly long run, and with Dominic staying out, well, he may run this thing out of fuel. He's definitely going to be running it out of tires, but if we have a continuous long run, this might be a night over if he has to make a green flag with the top.
He's already out of tires. He has no tires left on that truck. There's no way possible. I mean, we've had 2 or 3 pit stops since the last time he has pitted, and I think it's time to just bite the bullet, get that thing down pit road, get the front end of that truck fixed, get some new tires and fuel on that thing, and see what you can do from there. Even if you go down the lap, you always got that chance of getting that lap back from the lucky dog.
Right, especially with only 1 truck a lap. Actually, now 2 trucks a lap down with Sal Cardi also making 1 lap down. But this is Las Vegas, and this is a gamble, and he is gambling by staying out.
Yeah, it's one of those strategy calls where sometimes you'll see somebody back in the pack, and they don't have the best truck, but they'll try to stay out as long as they can on a cycle of pit stops and hopefully get a caution to gain spots. Dominic Dieball is staying out, hoping to survive. But again, the fact that these guys are working limited quick fixes where you can come down, you get a brand new truck, you don't have to sit down there for repairs, you'll get a brand new one like it just came out of the race shop. There's a limited amount of those, and Dominic used up, or he has 1 left in the bank. So he is aware of the front end damage, which is obviously going to hurt his speed, plus the fact that, again, you guys talked about he is on those old tires, sliding back to what is going to be 19th position that time by the start-finish line. He will get that front end fixed because you think it was worth it playing it safe and losing, 17 positions?
Well, meanwhile, back up here in the front of the pack, we have Don Stevenson still leading this race. David Wink is now in 2nd place and has closed in right on the back bumper now of Don Stevenson, looking like David Wink, can't talk, looking like he's going to want to try to get up here and lead this race. Actually, no, I apologize. That is not David Wink right behind him.
We now are hearing that the cycle of pit stops may be beginning. A couple of trucks deeper in the pack announced that they're going to be bringing them down this next time by for what will be their final trip to pit lane assuming, and of course, if we get a caution, we may see everybody cycle back down, maybe a little bit of a mixed strategy in that regards. That's all situational, but if this stays green, final pit stop's going to be coming up, and you'll see these guys start to trickle down. You'll see, the start of these green flag pit stops begin, but once your leader, Don Stevenson, hits pit road, that is when everybody else is going to come flocking down, and this is where you have to talk. Do you see somebody in a top 10, top 5 spot come down pit early and short pit? They may lose a lap depending on how long the service will take. iRacing does have some faster pit road speeds, about 5 mile an hour increase in that regards. But do you see somebody short pit because, you come down there, you might lose a lap. If a caution flies, you're trapped at lap pit. And then we can go back to the strategy that I mentioned just a few minutes ago. If you're late in the pack, do you stay out and stretch that fuel as long as you can and hope you get a caution? There's so many different ways that these green flag pit stops can shake up this race.
And
Dominant dive
right here with the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. You've asked if somebody's going to come from out of the top 10. Jeremy Crandall from 9th. He is short pitting. Also, Dominic Dyball finally makes it down at Georgesburg. I believe you had something on Dominic Dyball.
Yeah, Dominic finally came over the radio and said enough is enough. He had to come down here and get that front end of that truck fixed. He's got the front of the truck fixed, 4 new tires, and he's going to go back at it here. He's now going to probably be 1 or 2 laps down after that, but everybody else is going to have to pit, so that's going to bring him right back around to where he needs to be. He is right now running in the 28th position, 1 lap down.
But once again, the key truck to focus on here is the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. He was the first one of the leaders, if you want to call top 10. Let's see how many spots he's able to gain through the second one to come.
And the logic behind a short pit is the fact that you're going to come down, you're going to get back out there on fresh tires, and as you're running lap times that are consistent with brand new tires, the people that stay out, the leaders that wait until maybe a medium point or until they decide to come down pit road, they're going to be running laps substantially slower than you. So you hope that when they come down pit road, that you're going to be able to make up enough time to get in front of them. On the flip side of that coin, when they come back out, they're going to be on tires that are fresher than you. They'll be chasing you down. So it also comes down to the fact that how well you think maybe you could hold them off in a one-on-one race out to the finish. All these different things can still come to play, but the cycle green flag pit stop still young. 23 trucks remain on the lead lap at this point. Take a look. Nobody else from the top 10 has come down yet. You guys talked about Jeremy Crandall that actually had a significant improvement after starting 32nd to get up to about a 10th place running position by the time he came down pit road. Crandall, one of our top runners in the championship, 6th place in the standings, had a great night out. Him and his teammate George Bart dominated at Daytona, and Crandall had a race that he'd like to forget when we could go at Atlanta, which cost him a lot of points. Don Stevenson nearly got to the lap machine up there. The 92 car just caught them at a bad time on the outside lane. Jonathan McMahon will heel tie and let them by. That has allowed Dustin Lee to close in. Dustin Lee is a lap machine leader, has 2.5 seconds to the good over David Wank and company. All these cars that you see on the apron are either exiting and or entering pit lane for their service.
And speaking of the third flip of the coin as well, this short pit, if you pit and then yellow comes out, you essentially also lost your races. There's only one lead lap wave around car, so if you need to try to get a lap back, you'd actually have to stay out on those old tires that you took as well. Now, Garrett Atwell.
I'm going to be riding along here with Don Stevenson. He just made his announcement. He is going to be fitting this time by. Let's take a look and see what Don Stevenson is going to do as he comes down in the number 47 truck. Don Stevenson gets it slowed down to 50 miles an hour.
He's
heads down here for his pit.
50 miles an hour, Carl. Interesting to note, 5 miles an hour faster than what we are used to seeing. That's via the new iRacing build. I said when the leader comes down pit road, everybody else is going to flock down. Well, the 20 machine of Wink is down. Pretty much all these other drivers come over the radio here, guys, announcing that they're going to be coming down pit road. This is also a situation when you can see some guys stay out in an extra lap, get a bonus point for leading, and then also come down for their service.
As the crew swings around here to the left side of the truck, now they're going to be putting 4 tires onto Don Stevens' truck filled with fuel. As he drops it, he's going to drop it down into the pit, back down, and he is out and away. 4 tires and fuel, Don Stevenson. Let's see where that's going to put him in the running order. He had a 2-second lead, so that was a really nice pit stop. He had good entrance, good exit. He should come back out with the lead after the sequence of pit stops is over.
Martin Porter continues to lead up the top spot. He's going to break down pit road now. Teammate to Garrett Atwell, the Root Motorsports driver, is going to bring it down. 8 Machine, very conservative coming down pit road. Looks like, again, you could have given up a lot of time. And there's so many different ways. You can really attack that pit lane, risk overshooting it. And you can also take a conservative approach that we saw Martin Porter take. Porter's going to get into his stall with relative ease, scoot at about a 15-degree angle. That really not going to hurt him. If anything, it'll help him leaving his stall. But there's a lot of time that can be lost and or made up here, guys, under these green flag cycles. Joe Wood to the top spot. He's going to bring it down pit road this time by. A fairly aggressive entry from Joel, but nothing crazy. And he'll hit pit road as well. That's going to cycle Everett Lane, who has been caught up. And again, Carl, one of our front runners here at CORA, got stuck back in the pack, got involved with a couple of incidents. He now leads some laps.
Yeah, Everett Lane there. I think he is going to be pitting here very soon, though. I think he had about 5 or 6 laps on these guys here. He pitted a little bit later, a little bit earlier, right after the last caution for some reason. I don't know what he pitted for, but he was in and out really quick. I think he took 2 tires and came back out. I don't know exactly what it was, but he was able to stay on the lead lap, and now he is up here in the lead. Let's see what he can do with this.
Watching back to the back here, the 95 of Dale Atkins, who has stayed out on old tires, has not yet pancaked the wall coming outside of 2. Obviously no yellow, but the right side of his truck is completely damaged, and they see him laying here very shortly. His tires are toast.
A good way to tell if a driver has gotten in the wall, excluding the right side damage, is what the drivers in iRacing refer to as the bird poop on the car. And that's if you get into the outside wall, you'll see some mysterious scraping-like damage on the roof of the number 95 machine. You can see it right there. So that's a good way to quickly tell if a driver that you're following has met the outside wall rather recently. Tim Johnstone going to bring it in from the number 6 position. Everett Lane still leading. James Brown has now cycled to the number 2 position. Again, a lot of these guys could possibly be staying out, trying to get a bonus point for leading a lap and then bringing it back down. Right now, as we run 9 trucks on the lead lap, the last truck on the lead lap is Mitchell Reeves. You have Don Stevenson, a lot of these guys here, but first truck 1 lap down is going to be David Wink, who finds himself in front of Doucette Atwell. And close call, as one of the trucks coming out of pit road, I believe, slid up high, nearly got into the racing surface. And a lot of these trucks coming around at high speed had to make a little bit of evasive action. Not too sure what the number on that one was, but I saw a couple of, I know the 26 Marcus Babb was down there, but don't believe it was him. Saw somebody have a check of a couple drivers were talking on the radio. But Marcus Babb, guys, he went around all the way on the apron. Looks like he's got to come back down pit road, possibly a penalty.
Taking a look here now at the 00, James Brown in the Lafarge. In the Lafarge truck here, as he is running around now in position number 2 after his early problems he had here. He is now 6 seconds behind the leader, Everett Lane, but he is running around here in the 2nd position right now. I don't know if I haven't seen him pit as of yet, so he is probably one of the last of the 4 or 5 drivers up here in the front of the field that still have to pit. But actually, I think there's 3 drivers. I don't think that I've seen Patrick or Everett or James hit pit road as of yet. So these 3 drivers I know will have to be pitting here very shortly.
And you can see cycling around our current race leader, and looks like Everett's going to be bringing it down this time. But you see Garrett Atwell right behind Nicholas Doucette. Those are some of the guys that, again, have been front runners. A couple of trucks on pit road at the moment. Again, as everybody cycles through, Colton Berkey is down pit road, Sal Accardi. The 24 car just came down. That's Everett Lane here. The 99 came down as well. That's Charles Starks. The 92 is going to be coming down this next time by. That's Jonathan McMinn. So a lot of everybody coming down to finish off the cycle. Green flag stop still at the moment. James Brown is our leader. He is coming over the radio, but announced that he's going to be bringing that machine down pit road this time by. And that may just about be the end, as the 95 of Dale Adkins also going to be coming down pit road. This could be the final little bit of cycling here until we get an eye on who's going to be up front here in these closing laps.
Looks like after all is said and done, Don Stevens is going to be coming out of this with the lead again. He's going to have about a 1-second lead over Mitchell Reeves. So I was correct there when I said that Don Stevenson, after this round of pit stops, is going to be our leader, and he's going to have about a 2nd lead over the 2nd place car.
again, gonna wait for the scoring and everything to cycle all the way through to get some official intervals, but it does look like it is Don Stevenson up at the front of this field. Again, a pole sitter, cycled back, mirrored in traffic just a little bit, and has returned that Storm Motorsports entry to the top spot, this time by Hillcross to take lap number 110 out of 125 laps in this one. So 16 to go. That time by, going to get the intervals now 2 seconds back to the 02 of Mitchell Reeves, David Wink 6.2, Garrett Atwell 6.5. So right now, I think you got to pretty much look at this as it is Don Stevenson's race to lose. We now have to bring up the ever so, recurring subject of no green, white checkers. If there's a caution under 4 to go, this race will end under yellow. So that still does give us a window, guys. A lot of these trucks just getting up to speed now, racing each other for position. You're going to be getting a little bit more aggressive. The caution flies before now at about lap 121. And this could set us up for a late race restart, which would be very interesting and something Don Stevenson does not want to see.
And speaking of getting aggressive really quick there, a couple laps ago, Nicholas Doucette was attempting to actually make a pass on Garrett Atwell. Garrett Atwell just got a little bit loose and Nicholas Doucette in the wall. That's what caused him to be about 2 seconds back at Garrett Atwell. But if Nicholas can get up to Garrett, there might be some very aggressive driving in here.
And with that all cycling through, 24 trucks going to remain on the lead lap. Dale Adkins, the last truck on the lead lap, 30 seconds back from our leader, or if you want to translate that, just in front of Don Stevenson down the back straightaway. So with the speed that Stevenson's shown, you have to anticipate that Dale may lose his lap here, which would leave us with 23 on the lead lap. So still a pretty substantial amount of trucks that are still on the lead lap here. But again, a lot of battling going on throughout this field, spread out maybe. And I mean, most of the battling, I have to say, has been around 15th place. A lot of those guys back there just really haven't been able to separate themselves from each other, especially coming off of the restarts. A lot of hard battling. And again, this being our first race on an intermediate racetrack with the open setup. You can clearly tell that Don Stevenson and the Storm Motorsports gang has their stuff together, because that 47 flying up the front of the field.
Right, and speaking of 15th place, currently in 15th place is one of the drivers we've been following a lot tonight, the Dominic Highball machine, which appears to have most of his front end damage fixed and has fresh tires. So we'll see if he is able to work his way up from the front of the field where he's at, back up there.
Yeah, Dominic's
company, Jeremy Crandall, Carl, looks like he's going to try to put a move on him. They're battling pretty hard.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Dominic's getting ready to be taken over here by Jeremy Crandall. Jeremy Crandall is all over his back bumper here. He's looked to the outside, looked to the inside. Now he's back down here to the inside. Finally got a fender up on the inside of the Dominic Dieball machine. Looks like he's going to be able to make this pass. Dominic's going to hold strong here on the outside, though. The 73 truck of Crandall is going to stick it down there in the bottom. Can he make this pass?
Well, neck
Dominic.
and neck at the start-finish line. That would have been an exciting finish if that was the end of it, but it was Crandall, Carl, with the advantage by 3 1/1000ths on the inside. He now works through quarter two, and he'll get clear with the number 15 machine out of 2. Do we see any sort of comeback by Dieball? He'll give a little bit of a shot to the back bumper of the 73, and I think he accepts the fact that he has lost that position, and Crandall going to get P14.
I don't know. Dominic taking a look back down here to the inside now. Crandall's going to push it wide here. Dominic going into turn 1, looking to the inside of the 73 truck. 3 wide as they go around the 29 truck to the outside there. Looks like Dominic's going to be able to make this pass, though, as Crandall slides up the track, slams it back down right in front of Brandon Monsiváis. Brandon probably not going to like that too awful much, as he's going to now take a look to the inside. He's going to pull it back down in there and say no, he's not going to try for the pass. But one more time, Crandall's going to look to the inside of Dominic Dieball.
Told you, it's these positions back here that have really been fighting the hardest all night long for every spot that they can get. And again, still going as you documented there, 2 and then at points 3 wide for spots all the way throughout this pack. And a little bit of a battle, the 35 machine trying to work some lap traffic down on the inside. That is Nathan Sedlak. Battling with the number 39, that Salacardi lap machine. But Ryan Borges, somebody that we've been used to seeing up front here, guys, and had a solid finish 1 week ago with the top 3 in Atlanta. Had a tough night tonight, was involved in at least 2 incidents, I believe, earlier on in the going, has been able to recover to run P6. So good recovery for the 32 team.
This battle still rages on here between the 73 and the 15 as the 73 now takes the outside and tries to make this pass stick, and he's not going to do it because Dominic Eyeball is going to get the run here going into the turn. As contact between the two of them, Crandall's going to go high, hits the wall on the outside. Brandon Monsivice almost gets into it, slides down into the infield. They're almost catching the grass. He's able to get the truck underneath him, and he's able to get around Crandall also. But close call there for those two trucks there for a few minutes.
And as we documented, Crandall was one of those first guys to pit, so his tires are going away.
And it looks like things are going to play into the hands of Don Stevenson. As I said, we had about a 10-lap window where if a caution flag were to fly, it would really throw a huge curveball into this race. And this time by, Don Stevenson going to be taking 5 laps to go at that point. Almost virtually safe from it for caution to fly. This race would end under caution flag conditions after one more circuit. Everett Lane being forced down pit road.
Yeah, it looks like Everett Lane, I don't know if he was out of gas or what, he just took some fuel, no tires, nothing, and he's heading on back out.
Wow, tough break there. A lot of these guys trying to, calculate how much fuel they'll need, and with that mean of fuel only stopping his end call, you have to think maybe he came up a little bit short, which is gonna hurt him very substantially in this one, because under green flag conditions, he's gonna lose a lot of spots.
Yeah, and he wasn't one of the very first guys to pit either, so he might have just been calculating or expecting a late caution and never got.
We got a couple coming down pit road. I've heard a couple more drivers come over the radio and say that they are going to have to be pitting in here at some point. So not sure the reasoning behind that, but a couple of drivers appear to be a little bit short on fuel.
This could be a new build gremlin there. A lot of these drivers, have the setups and they know the amount of laps that they could run on a full tank. But with this new build, that might have changed.
And 3 to go for race leader Don Stevenson, who now holds 4.7 seconds over Mitchell Reeves and company. It was a battle for third between Wink and Atwell. David Wink has now pulled nearly a second in Garrett Atwell for that position. Sedlak and Borges still not giving up on each other. They continue to go at it. Just about half a truck can separate those two drivers as they have some pretty thick lap traffic in front of them, 2 wide. Sedlak going to make it 3 wide maybe as he goes around James Brown. He's going to have to go about 3 wide. 12 machine checks up. Look at Borges trying to slice through all this lap traffic as he tries to get anything he can as he continues to try to get that top 5 spot from Sedlak.
Taking a look here, the number 7th position of Michael Churchman, the 88 machine here. He's got a little bit of damage on the truck, but his race is looking a lot better than what it did earlier there. He had an early black flag and a EOL that put him to the back of the pack twice, and he is able to rebound from that, bringing that truck back up to the 7th position here. So very good possibility that maybe Michael Churchman's luck has turned around.
And now at a quarter number 2 for the final time, Don Stevenson with clear track in front of him after a strong showing tonight, was able to qualify like we said on pole position, slid back, and once he got back up to the top spot for the cycling green flag pit stops, never looked back. And at a quarter number 4, the Storm Motorsports entry across the start finish line, the RMT Trucking 188 and Don Stevenson the victory lane.
4 seconds behind him is going to be Mitchell Reeves taking the number 2 position. David Wake's going to be in 3. Garrett Atwell, he is going to take number 3. Ryan Borges just gets past Nathan Sedlak for the 5th position there. So that was a nice race right to the end of that between Ryan Borges and Nathan Sedlak. Michael Church was going to finish here unofficially in 7th position, and we got Martin Porter. He looks like he's going to be in 8th. Nicholas Doucette 9th. Joel Wood is going to be rounding out the top 10.
A nice move by Ryan Borges on that last lap to complete the pass on Nathan Sedlak and get himself the top 5 running position. But it was an interesting one on the racetrack. It was an interesting one up here in the booth as we tried to get everything sorted out and get on air. But it is Don Stevenson. He'll put it in victory lane as by CORA customary. The top 3 going to pull him over at the start-finish line. We'll step away and we'll talk to those top 3 finishers and get you set for the next race. Going to be coming up in 1 week's time with super late models at the Richmond International Raceway. Post-race show on the other side. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Back live at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway here with CORA Championship Online Racing Association, and a Sunday Money Series comes to a close from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway tonight after the RMT Trucking 188. And I'm down on pit road. I've caught it with our third place finisher, going to be driver of the number 20 machine, David Wink. David, congratulations on that top 3 finish. Walk us through your race. You obviously showed some speed, third fastest in practice, qualified 6th, and after a caution-filled opening half, a long green flag run to close it out. How'd you get the job done?
I got done with a strong set from my teammates Storm Motorsports and Vortex, and that last green really helped because our set was built for the long run.
Entering tonight's race, being Las Vegas, the first open set race on an intermediate track this season. I know you talked about the team there helping you out with the setup. I mean, what different kind of approach do you have to take to this one, if any? This one obviously being that open set compared to one week ago at Atlanta where everybody was on the same setup.
It takes a lot of practice. Going into this, I rarely race this track, so I spent a good amount of it. And we just kept on working hard on the set, and it paid off.
A P3 result, obviously good, and a lot of your teammates represented in the top 5 and top 10 as well. What does it mean to be able to have this success early on in the season?
Oh, it gives you a lot of confidence going for the season. You know, locking up that top 12 in points is a big confidence booster. So, like I said, a lot of confidence.
Well, before we let you go and celebrate with the rest of your team, sponsors and shout-outs, who makes it happen for you?
I got to give a big shout-out to NAGN, North American Gaming Network, for sponsoring this year, Storm Motorsports, Vortex Motorsports, and just a big thanks to a bunch of those guys.
All right, well, once again, congratulations on the solid finish there, David, and good luck moving forward in the season.
Thank you.
Well, that is our third place finisher, David Wink, down on pit road with the P2 result. That's going to be Mitchell Reeves. Carl, you're down with him.
Yeah, I caught up with Mitchell Reeves here, finished second place today. Great finish today, Mitchell.
Yeah, the truck really was good. Started the race, got to lead some laps. Really happy to be in my first top 3. Didn't know it'd be this early in the season, but I'm really happy to be here.
As you were running 4 seconds behind Don Stevenson there for the second place, did you think that you were going to be able to catch him at any time, or did you pretty much concede to the second place finish there during that long green flag run?
Well, you always want to be first, but Don's truck from start to finish had to just really was on top of it today. I got really fortunate. Took 2 tires on that last pit stop. Really put me in the position I was in. Had to play some strategy because there was a lot of fast trucks out here, and I'm just really fortunate to be where I am right now.
Well, we had a lot of crazy stuff going on out here tonight. A lot of cautions. How hard was it to stay in rhythm tonight and keep that truck where you needed to be? Did you have a hard time keeping the tires under you? And what kind of strategy, what kind of pitch strategy did that pretty much throw out the window there with all those cautions?
Well, you really just had to go with the flow. You didn't know if you were going to have a 50-lap run like we had here in the last bit of the race, or you were going to have a 5-lap till a caution. I came into this race knowing that I think 2 tires would have put me in this where I am, and fortunately everything worked out. And I hope I can get this kind of luck the rest of the season, and maybe we can be a big contender for this championship.
I believe this is your rookie season. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
So you're coming in here as a rookie, finishing second in a CORA Sunday Money race. Great job. Is there anybody who you would like to thank with sponsorship and stuff?
I'd give a big shout out to Fast Lane Racing. Everett D. Lane has put a heck of a team together this year. I think we're going to do a lot of good stuff. You also give a shout out to Michael D'Amico and All Pro Racing. They're a big help for me too. Malibu Boats, Skiers Marine, and I think that's about it.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish. I do believe Evan Pasoko has finally caught up with our winner.
We are down here in the Gatorade Victory Lane area after, again, a long one, a hard-fought one. And all of that being said, only one driver was able to finish on top, and it was the driver of the number 47, Don Stevenson, to Victory Lane. Don, congratulations on the win. We saw you start up front, so there was no doubt that you had a fast Chevrolet. You got cycled back a little bit in traffic early, and in that long green flag run, we're able to pull what is going to be 4.4 seconds on the rest of the field. How'd you get that done?
It was all the setup there. I mean, the guys there at Storm Motorsports and Vortex Racing, they really put together an awesome long run setup here tonight. I mean, and we knew that's what it was going to take for us to hopefully get a podium and into victory lane here tonight. Was we needed those long green flag runs, and the way the race had started there, it didn't look like we were going to get that, but we still felt like we had a good short run car. But Garrett was really strong there on a short run, so I don't think we would have been able to get around him if it was just 5 and 10 lap runs. But it was just a great setup by a great team here that I have here with Storm Motorsports.
And obviously Storm represented very well in the finishing order here tonight. Obviously Atlanta, that was a fixed setup race tonight, open on the intermediates, and with a new build recently coming out, what were some of the things that you guys struggled with in trying to get that setup dead on?
Well, fortunately, I mean, I don't think the new build had a whole lot to do with the trucks, like when you're on the track and up to speed. Like, the biggest challenge on them was actually on very, very cold tires, because it just seemed like there was no grip in the tires at all, and almost like you were on ice. And that made the pit exit coming off of pit lane there on the apron very challenging, because I mean, you don't have much grip down there as it is, and then when you add in that new build with the tires feeling even more on ice, you had to be very conservative there. But that was my biggest worry there, is when we had those green flag pit stops, is just not choking it down there and costing myself the race there. But had a good pit stop, and we were able to get out. And Mitchell made a great call there, taking 2 tires. And I mean, I was actually really surprised how well he was able to hang up there as long as he was with those 2 tires. But I think we had a big enough lead there to be able to take 4 tires and have it pay off for us.
This season is 24 races. There are 19 before we get to the chase cutoff, but 3 starts, 2 trips to victory lane. Can't argue with that.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, I can't ask for a better start to this season. I mean, and especially winning on a fixed setup race and then an open setup race, that makes me feel really good. I mean, it makes me feel like, when I go to the track, no matter what car, no matter what track, I feel like I'll have a chance of winning and everything. We got collected up wrecked there on lap like lap 25, and we had to go all the way to the back, and that was really, really tricky there, and race could have ended right back there. But I mean, we were able to get through there and get back up to the front, and then thankfully we had that long green flag run there. I think we went the last 65 laps green, and that was the key for us tonight.
Before we let you go, next week, actually we do have an off week, but the next race is going to be race number 4. That's going to be Richmond in the super late model, so quite different than anything that we have seen so far this season. Your thoughts rolling into that one?
That's going to be really interesting. I mean, because a lot of us haven't been on the super late model. A lot of us really don't have a whole lot of experience with the super late models. So, I mean, it's going to be... I mean, thankfully, it will be a fixed setup next week, so, it takes that aspect out of the way, but it's still going to be a challenge learning how those cars drive. And on, the short track itself, I'm not so worried about, because I love short tracks, and Richmond is one of the best tracks in the whole iRacing service. So, I mean, but the super late models, it's going to be different, but I'm sure, I think we have the off week here, so we'll have a couple weeks to get ready for them, and hopefully we'll be fast there and can get Storm Motorsports back up in the podium again.
Before we let you get back to your team and celebrate, Don, real quick, sponsors and shout-outs once again, everybody who makes it happen for you.
Again, I got to thank Storm Motorsports and Vortex Racing. I mean, great group of guys there, and I got really Nathan Sedlak there. He put this setup together for us, and it was really, really strong. And we fine-tuned it throughout the week, and it was just really, really good. And I couldn't have asked for anything more out of that. It was a little bit loose there to start, but you had to be that way to be good on the long runs. And then got to thank my wonderful family, my loving wife here. She's supporting me week in and week out and everything, and can't thank her enough. My parents, they're home watching the race, and I'm sure they're cheering right now. I can't wait to talk to them.
Finally tonight, we take you to Arlington Heights,
thank
Illinois.
You, CORA,
where the
for
Huskies
running a
of
great
John
series
Hersey
here,
High School have
and
Sunday
LSR TV for broadcasting the races here.
All right, well, Don, maybe this will become a reoccurring thing, talking to you here in Victory Lane. But back-to-back, once again, congratulations and good luck rolling forward, not only to you, but your team as well in the season.
Thank you, Evan. Have a great night.
So, Carl, that does it. That is your winner, Don Stevenson. Back-to-back trips to Victory Lane on 1.5 miles. So, can't argue with that. And as he said, and then we talked about when I talked to some of the other guys here, his team, Storm Motorsports, has really dominated so far.
Oh, absolutely. Don Stevenson is a great guy, great driver, and a couple interesting things happened here today at the end of this, after this race here. The points. Don Stevenson did overtake George Barks, I believe, for the points, and also put him at the lead for the points for the truck series, which is important because they only have one more race to go in the trucks now, and that will be in the race for the Cup at the end of the season. So Don Stevenson has a good possibility of being able to take the points championship in the truck series this season. So a lot of interesting things happen there.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned that. And again, we talked about it in some of the earlier races, but didn't really bring it up tonight. Is not only is there going to be an overall champion with that chase, but there is also individual points per truck that these guys run, which is the B cars, the Gen 6, the Indy cars, the trucks, and obviously the super late models included in that as well, Carl. So thank you for bringing that up once again. And it is a 18-point gap now for Don Stevenson in the overall points, back to now second place runner Nathan Sedlak. No stranger that a lot of these guys at the top five are some of the dominant teams that we've seen so far in this season. But Carl, Paul has stepped away for the microphone here for the closing bit. So before we step away, your thoughts on tonight's race?
Interesting race, like I said. A lot of cautions, unfortunately. A lot of slipping and sliding out there. But I think we knew that going into this race that's what we were going to see tonight. Other than that, great job, Don Stevenson, there on the win. Really impressed with how he was able to pull that off there at the end and pull that 4-second lead out there. I didn't think anybody was going to be able to make that big of a jump and being that far ahead, but Don Stevenson did a great job tonight.
And before we step away, get a running down through the final finishing order in tonight's RMT Trucking 188. It was Don Stevenson on the top spot, Mitchell Reeves in second, David Wink third, Garrett Atwell fourth, Ryan Borges with a fifth place result, Nathan Sedlak sixth position, Michael Churchma seventh. Didn't say his name much, Carl, but a good recovery for the Churchma camp. Martin Porter going to come home in fourth, Nicholas Doucette in ninth, 10th going to go to Joel Wood, Eric Sharp 11th, the Jeffrey Smith 12th, Dominique Dieball 13th, 14th, Brandon Cruz-Malseve, Jeremy Crandall 15th place, Chad Wilson 16th, George Bark 17th, 18th to John Pansula, Patrick Stahio would come home in 19th, 20th to Michael Whitlock, Dustin Loynes 21st, 22nd, Dale Adkins, Michael D'Amico 23rd, 24th, Tim Johnstone, Everett Lane back in 25th spot, Jonathan McMinn 26th, Dylan Eckhart 27th, 28th going to go to the 99 of Charles Starks, James Brown 29th, 30th to Jacob Nye, Marcus Babb 31st, 32nd Sal Accardi, Dustin Lee 33rd, and 34th Colton Berkey. But for the way that race went, 19 trucks going to survive it on the lead lap, but in the end Don Stevenson rises up once again, back-to-back trips to victory lane for the number 47 camp. That does it for tonight on LSR TV. So on behalf of everybody over here at CORA and also at LSR TV, Laura Lawson pushed the buttons and getting us on air, working through some technical difficulties earlier to get us on air here for the race tonight. Also Carl Jones, Paul Coleman, thank you once again for joining me in the broadcast booth. My name is Evan Posoko. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Going to be super late models at Richmond.